If I told you that there are two things in this day and age that if you grab a hold of, you can literally become a walking bank. But there's only one thing to it. You can't be afraid of debt. You see, the rich, they embrace debt. Don't believe me? Check this out.
Credit card's not the problem. In fact, I love my credit card. Right, and this credit card is a fast way of creating money. And we love debt, don't we? Yeah, we have a lot of debt.
Did he just say credit cards are a fast way to make money? But wait, did he also say that they love debt? Wow. But why? Because they know that if you can get rich without using your own money, then why not? That way your money can go to work for you instead of you working for the money. There's no secret to it. You just have to be willing to leverage debt to finesse your way through life.
831 says, how can I get some inquiries removed? I don't do that personally, but I'm sure there are people that do. So you may want to see if you can communicate with them and do that. I personally don't do that, unfortunately. I wish I could help you. Queen of Credit, let's go, ma'am. Thank you so much for stopping by the stream. It is an honor and a privilege to have you here in this live stream. I've definitely seen a couple of your lives. You've been doing live streams recently, and thank you so much. Once again, it is a privilege and pleasure to have you in the stream. If you guys are watching, be sure to go back and subscribe to Queen of Credit. She talks about credit on her channel as well, so be sure to show some support and go over there and subscribe to her channel and click that notification bell.
Okay. Shout outs to Latanya, right? I share a lot of her stuff on my Facebook as well. She calls herself the Credit King. I mean, the Credit Queen, my bad. The Credit Queen. She said, I bought my first flip house with a Discover credit card, guys. This kind of stuff is very, very powerful. And if you're 18, 19, 20, 40, 50, if you never knew how to come up in life, if you never knew how to get your breakthrough, it all lied in getting your credit fixed, using debt, turning debt into cash flow to then fund your life and your dreams, guys. Do not run away from this kind of debt because you didn't have the knowledge. Turn to this because this can help you come out of your situation, right? We're called to be the lenders and not the borrowers, correct? You can borrow in order to become the lender. This is how you do it. All right, so check this out. She bought a rent house. She bought a first flip house with $5,000 credit card. Now, how was she able to do that? Now, check this out. She could do a 0% credit card, a 0% interest credit card. This is what most people do. 0% interest. Remember that. No interest on the card. So whatever she takes off, she doesn't have to pay for. So check this out. Takes a 0% interest credit card, does a balance transfer check of $5,000, goes on Zillow or wherever, buys a house, and bingo, now she has an asset. But we'll get.
And so, let me explain. I'm simply doing what it is that God has called me to do. And every time I pass go, I'm collecting $200. So instead of having to read all these different financial books and follow all their different strategies now, I am simply passing go and collecting $200. I'm getting paid to be myself. That's flow cash. When you buy a rental property, that's cash flow. And I have rental property. But when somebody pays you $15,000 to talk to a business for 45 minutes, that's flow cash. That ain't cash flow. That's flow cash. When Beyonce gets $4 million to go to Coachella, that's not cash flow. That is flow cash. She's getting $4 million to shake her butt. What a crazy word it is. When LeBron James is receiving $45 million a year to bounce a basketball, that is not cash flow. That is flow cash. He's getting paid to be who he is and to do what he was born to do. There is a difference. And I believe all of us that even have jobs, that in the season God wants to bless you and has cash flow, God wants to bless your flow cash. Queen of Credit, you still in here? Queen of Credit, if you're in here, put a 1 on the screen. I want to use her as an example. Queen of Credit, if you're in here, put a 1 on the screen. Okay. So guess what? I saw you come on the scene and started talking about credit. Wasn't nobody feeling what you were saying, and wasn't nobody liking what you were saying and interacting with it some years ago. I noticed that you kept on doing your thing. I tell people all the time, listen to me carefully. If you will do anything consistently over a period of time and do it even when people don't back it, you'll win the whole world over. Now I'm watching, everybody is now coming to you and interacting with you because you never stopped doing what you was doing. And now you have flow cash. And believe it or not, when everybody in this area talks credit, they bring up your name. Ain't that something? So you have literally made a name for yourself. You make a name for yourself and you determine this is what I'm going to do. I don't give a rat's butt how you feel about it. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep doing this. And y'all going to figure out one day that this is who I am. Straight up. And so if you're going to have flow cash, you got to say, yo, and you getting paid to do what you do. All them books you read, it's natural to you. All of it is natural to you because I don't think you have to gear yourself up to go read those books and put the videos up. It's natural to who you are.
Let's get into credit cards, right? It was Martin, I think, who made a statement about discover. People have discover cards and they discovered they're broke, trying to chase freedom, and while being mastered, by MasterCard. And I told him, I said, well, Discover helped me discover real estate to master my money, chasing financial freedom. So Chase, Discover, and MasterCard have all been my investing partners, right? And so I was reading this article. I came across this article, and this is what most people don't understand. And it reads, most credit card users, right? Most credit card users offer a grace period, which lets you pay off your balance. The key here is interest-free within a minimum of 21 days from the end of a billing cycle. Any balance remaining after the 21-day grace period will incur interest if you at least don't pay the minimum. You could also face fees, right? Which will cost you hundreds of dollars over time. You'll be charged interest on any amount you don't pay after the grace period, people. So this is why I recommend that you always pay on time and pay in full. I don't care if you have a credit card that states that your annual interest rate is 10%, 11%. The reason and the only reason that people get charged interest on credit cards is because you don't pay the balance off in full, right? And I even made a statement, a post on my YouTube channel that some people were saying that they decided to keep a utilization rate on credit cards at 3% versus 0%. And they actually saw their credit score, even though it was a Vantage credit score through Credit Karma, but Credit Karma dropped their credit score by 23% because they did not pay those credit card balances in full every month. So, Alvin, when I say that or educate people on that, what are your thoughts on that?
My thoughts on that, this is how I look at it. This is how I look at every single credit card. I have about 20 credit cards, right? All of them are active, all of them open. I look at every single credit card that I have is a charge card. And if you're familiar with a charge credit card, you understand that on a charge credit card, well, a charge card, you have to pay the balance off in full the next coming month. So I look at every single credit card as a charge card. I pay the balance off because it benefits me that way. Leaving balances on credit cards, man, I have been in that situation. I have been in that situation before. And, you know, hard times and difficult times and tough times happen for everyone. And I fell on hard times one time and I had a Chase card. I think I ran the balance up to like 6,000, 7,000. And that 29% interest, if you pay the minimum payment on 29% interest or 20% interest or whatever it is, you'll be paying that balance off for a very, 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 very long time. So you would have to almost triple the payment in order to get out that credit card debt. And that's why I say you would definitely need strategy, and you definitely want to avoid that happening to you. And that's why I always coach and I always tell people, man, look at your credit cards like they're charge cards. If you got a balance on it, to avoid any interest payment, just pay it off the next month, you know, or leave a very, very small balance where the interest is probably $1 or $2. You know, that's not a significant amount of money, but leaving a large balance on 10% interest, that's just absurd. You know, you don't want to, you wouldn't want to do that. So I'm in complete agreement with Latanya on not leaving a balance on the card. I don't leave a balance on any of my credit cards. No credit card I have today have a balance on it. Like none. I pay them off to 0%. The only time I really occur a balance is if like I get an annual fee or something like that, and I pay that off. But I'm in complete agreement of paying credit cards off every single month. And at the end of the day, it only helps you. It only helps your FICO score. It only builds your credit score and your credit profile over a period of time. But if you are buying a house and have no balance on a credit card, it reflects like you don't have credit. That's not always true. If you're buying a house, and it really just depends on that lender and how they're looking at you and their requirements. Because you can have credit cards on your credit report with no balance and still buy a house, without a doubt. The credit bureaus, from the research I have done, typically like to see a balance on the card. You know, I typically recommend anything between 1% and 9% credit utilization. They typically like to see that because they tend to score you a little bit better. They look at you like, okay, this person is responsible with the credit that they actually have. They're responsible. And that's the key. You want to look responsible with your credit. You know, that's the entire goal. So having a balance is not a bad thing, but you just don't want a high balance and incur all those fees, because at the end of the day, they incur all that interest in those fees, because at the end of the day, you're only making the wealthier. That's it. You're only making the wealthy people wealthier, because that's how they make money. They make money on money. Like, they don't work for it. And Latanya spoke on that earlier. If you have a W-2 job, and somebody's taking taxes out of your check, you know what I mean? Then you're working, you're trading your time to make money. But that's not how the wealthy people know. They're playing a different game. They're leveraging their money to make money, you know, and they're using other people's time to make money. So just be smart. Just be smart about credit card and the credit card debts and leaving balances on there. It's not always bad, but just keep it very, very low. If you got $1,000 credit card, you know, man, just keep a $20 balance or less than that. And no matter what the interest is, it's not going to be that much. You know, it's not going to be that much that's getting taxed onto that balance. Jobs create negative cash flow. Business profits or side hustles, only way to break cycles of pay minimums on credit card. That's true. I believe that could be true. I could believe that could be true, Curtis, because, man, I look at it like this, and I'm not talking against anyone that has a job. I look at it like this, because I once had a job. I did. But jobs, I look at it like jail operating as a business. Like, you know, I don't see the difference between being stuck in the cubicle all day being told what to do, how to do this and how to do that. And at the same time, being in jail and being told what to do, when to do it at this time. Like, I don't see the difference. And I'm not saying anything against anyone that has a job, because I have been there, you know, and it's nothing wrong with the job. We all start from somewhere, but I think everybody's ultimate goal should definitely be to get out of the job situation and start your own thing, do your own thing, and try to
and never have to pay any interest. So imagine this.
Whoa, 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 whoa. You'll teach us how to not pay interest on a credit card?
Oh yeah, you can use a credit card, use 10,000, or you can be like me, use up to 100,000 and pay 0 interest. All about education. We can teach you how to do that.
Yo, the cool thing you told me with the finding the day of the reporting, help me out with that.
A lot of people think just because you get something removed that it's gonna, that's only a little minor part of your credit score. About 90 to 95% of it is you doing these 5 components. Number 1, paying your bill, that's 35% of your score. Number 2, understanding how to use those credit cards, that's 30% of your score. Number 3, having 3 positive trade lines. And we'll teach you how to do that. That's 15% of your score. The last 20%, 10% is what types of credit you have. In the financial world, they're only concerned about secured and unsecured. Meaning if you get their money, David, and you can't pay it back, what do you have of value for them to offset that loss? And then the last one, don't you ever go out there and co-sign for anybody. Maybe your mom. If your mom needs something, you co-sign for your mom. You never, ever, ever co-sign for your wife. Man, never. You just buy her what she wants.
State is you learn to use debt to get rich. I'll give you another tip. If you're going to be rich, you have to learn to use debt. It's called other people's money. So when I hear poor people say to me, I don't have any money, I said, because you're an idiot. That's why. You're not supposed to use your money. You're supposed to use other people's money. But that's debt. I don't want to do that. And so they stay poor.